Hello and welcome to the Exploring series, and this is where we delve into exploring Christian themes, Christian influences, and Christian motifs in popular culture in places you normally wouldn't look. So, for example, anime, video games, and some books. We're not going to be looking at like anything C.S. Lewis or Tolkien based, except for this quote today, actually. And you might be asking why. Japan's a largely secular country. Why would we need to delve into their media to try to parse out some Christian influences, Christian themes, and lessons we could take away from it? So real quickly, I'm going to read you a quote from the great Tolkien, and it goes as follows: "We have come from God, and inevitably the myths woven by us, though they contain error, will also reflect a splintered fragment of the true light, the eternal truth that is with God. Indeed, only by myth making, only by becoming, quote, sub-creator, close quote, and inventing stories, can man aspire to the state of perfection that he knew before the fall. Our myths may be misguided, but they steer, however shakily, towards the true harbor, while materialistic progress leads only to a yawning abyss in their iron crown, the power of evil." So, having heard that quote, you might still be sitting there like, okay, I heard the quote, heard your introduction. What does it have to do with anything? Well, by looking at the creation of others, we are in fact looking at God's creation, because we are creation creating. I know that's a mouthful. If we look at others, movies, books, TV shows, what have you, there is going to be a universal truth contained within. Now, that's not to say that all things people create are worth looking at. There's plenty of garbage out there. But we can parse out the truth in most instances. So, for example, in Gundam today, we're going to be looking at certain aspects of Catholic social teaching, such as life and dignity of the human person, call to family, rights of workers, stewardship of the earth, just aspects and teachings of the church that the creators of Gundam probably didn't even know were a thing, but are still there, that are universal to mankind and made full within the church, but are all seemingly acknowledged by humanity. So without further ado, we will hop in and look at my favorite Gundam series, the 8th Mobile Suit Team. There's a pretty prevalent and consistent theme of anti-war throughout all of Gundam, and the 8th Mobile Suit Team is no exception to that. In fact, it just reeks of Vietnam and the anti-war movement that went on at the time. And that's very much in line with church teaching, that we are peacemakers because we have solidarity in the way that we are all God's children. We really shouldn't be fighting each other. And that is just something that it's a truth that's recognized, that we're all human. You see it pop up time and time again, and whatever media you're consuming. The fact that they address attacking civilians in this series, it's a big step. It's huge. Like, yes, they were fighting a guerrilla war. They could be considered combatants, but they weren't marked combatants, and that makes it a little fudgy, a little muddy the waters a bit. But the biggest theme I want to address, that's prevalent throughout the 8th Mobile Suit Team in particular, as opposed to all of Gundam, is that of love. I mean, yes, there's love stories within most of Gundam, but in the 8th Mobile Suit Team, there's a very strong love story. It's ripped right out of Romeo and Juliet, star-crossed lovers kind of thing, and it just works, and it manifests itself at the end very nicely with Catholic teaching and the fact that we're all called to a family. And spoiler alert, I am assuming that you've seen the show. It ends with Aina and Shiro starting a family. She's with child at the final scenes of the series, and as you know, or may know, a baby is the physical manifestation of the love between two parents, of the love between one another. And this series just exemplifies that in a very moving and touching way. So with all that being said, I just wanted to kind of get these ideas out there. I noticed the themes. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to explore the themes. And I'd love to just start a conversation. So leave some comments. I'd love to talk to you, see what your ideas are on it. And with that, I'm going to leave you with one scene in particular that just inspired all this. It's a very explicit reference to the Christian cross in an anime, which is rare. And it pans to it 3 times, which is, I think, a nice reference to the 3 crosses on Calvary. So thanks for watching.